So now let's see how to use this try and catch block. So wherever you get a critical statement, so this k divided by j is a critical statement for me, right? So what we can do, we can write a try catch block around the critical statement. But there is no harm in writing a try catch to the whole code. So what we can do is we can simply say try, and we can use this block. Since y is normal, we can use the whole block and we'll put everything in this try block. Now what is this try block means is, if you get an error somewhere in this line, it should throw an error. Since we are throwing the error, we need to catch it. But question arises what it will throw. So there is an exception class in Java. So whenever you throw the error or exception, it will throw the object of the exception. So we need to catch the object of the exception. So we'll say exception E. So this line will throw an error and we need to accept that error. Okay, and then here we'll print, we can simply print it is system.out.println, we can print E. Simple, right? So if I run this application, again we know there will be an error here, so it should print the exception. So if I say run as Java application, the output is, see, we are getting java.lang.arithmetic exception, which is divided by 0. So this arithmetic exception is a inbuilt class in Java, and it says divided by 0, and since we are getting the error, even if you are getting the error, the output is by. That means it is printing the value which is by. But let's jump to this exception class. So if you go to the exception class, you can see it return the exception class. It's a subclass and a form of throwable, which means this exception class is it extends this throwable class, right? Now, so here we have seen that it is using exception class, and we are printing the output of exception class, which is the value of exception class, which is arithmetic exception. But let's say I don't want to print the default error. What I want to print is, I want to specify the user that you cannot, let's say, you cannot divide a number by 0. So this is like more readable format or more understandable to the user. Instead of printing that divide that java.lang.arithmetic exception, we can simply say you cannot divide by 0, right? It's more sensible. So now if I run this, you can see the output is you cannot divide a number by 0, which is more sensible. But if we can focus, the type of exception it was throwing is not exception. It was throwing a arithmetic exception, right? So instead of using a class called as exception, you can use a class name called as arithmetic exception, and you can see arithmetic exception actually prints the it extends the exception. Simple. So arithmetic exception is a subclass of exception class. Now we can print this, so we can say run as Java application again, and the output is still same. So either you can use exception or you can use arithmetic exception. But when we should use which part, that we'll see in the next video.